Guest on the call for the evening. He's a former British welterweight title challenger. It's Shayne Singleton. How are you, Shayne?
I'm good, thank you. How's yourself?
I'm keeping very well. Thanks very much for joining us this Sunday evening.
No problem at all.
We'll just keep you for about 5 or 10 minutes, just looking through some of the fights over your career. First of all, before we get stuck into that, I heard recently that you were thinking about retiring. Have I jumped the gun, or what's going on here?
Yeah, no, I've decided to. It was a very hard decision, and obviously something that actually upset me and made me feel quite sick having to do. But yeah, I've called it a day on my boxing career.
I mean, obviously, you know your reasons. If you want to tell us or not, it's up to yourself. Anything particular that got you out of the game?
Yeah, it's just really, to be honest, it's behind the scenes of boxing. I love boxing. I love fighting. I love the training. You know, I love the whole lifestyle of it. But there's that many corrupt people and bent people behind. Obviously, what the outsiders don't see. Is that really what's pushed me away, to be quite honest, and just things like obviously having fight dates and then training hard for fight and then it getting cancelled and dates changed and it's just all got on top of me, to be honest with you, because I dedicate my life to it. I don't do it in halves. I do it, I give 110% and everything, and then when I'm not getting out of it what I think I could be getting out of it, I've had to have a good think about the situation.
Yeah, obviously, professional boxers like yourself put your lives on the line, and if people are cancelling fights or not paying you properly, then that's just a kick in the balls, basically.
That's it. Obviously, the last fight, Peter McDonough, I did think I won the fight. I've watched it back a good few times. I did think I won the fight. So that is, it isn't because of that, but also with that, obviously, I haven't been paid the full amount off NSC Sports, what was agreed. So we're having to take legal action against him for the Boxing Board of Control to try and get my money. They treat me like nobody from day one, really. First the fight were agreed, then the fight weren't going to happen because the tickets weren't selling for the other fighters, obviously for the big fight what were on the bill. And then it just went on and on. He started at the press conference. He also started at the weigh-in. I'll try and keep it pretty short and sharp. But the gloves, they brought some gloves into the training rooms that they wanted me to wear. They actually had no padding in them. Punch pads, I nearly broke my hand, so I refused to wear them. They were saying I had to wear them. Then my ring walk entrance tune weren't the tune I picked. I don't know what it were, but they made me walk out. The result, me getting a 5-month ban and me not getting paid. So it's made me dislike the sport.
A lot of people saw that fight taking place on YouTube. It was a big fight. The tickets weren't selling. The views maybe weren't coming in. And there was obviously the problem on the night with the PA system and everything. Was it basically just a bit of a farce behind the scenes, Shayne?
It were big time. It were a disgrace. It was absolutely. I was sat in changing rooms and people were coming in that are obviously working for the show, and they're like telling you you're on second, then telling you you're on 8th, and then telling you you're on 4th, and people running around like headless chickens didn't have a clue what they were doing, and it were just. And also in between the fights, I don't know what it were, but it were like somebody talking really loud on speakers for tearing up a full round.
Truly bizarre. It was bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah, it were shocking setup, and it's a shame really, because it is that what's obviously made have my final decision to call it a do. So yeah, it's sickening to even think about and talk about, really. When I was writing a big post obviously on my Facebook and on my Twitter and things to keep people in the loop, it was sickening me to as I was reading back through it, getting a lump in my throat. I've done it for 18 years. It's been my life, but I've been pushed away from it.
Just before we go to obviously some of the more positive aspects of your career, just that fight with Peter McDonough, you had a bit of beef at the weigh-in or whatever. Did he push you or slap you and then you got antagonised? What happened there?
Yeah, it was like there were a bit of grief at the press conference, which were a couple of days before, and then the weigh-in, we just went to head to head, and it gave me a bit of a push, slap sort of thing. gone to like put his hand around my throat and push me back, but he's missed my throat and caught me in face. So therefore, you can class it as a slap or a push, whatever. And then obviously I've gone to retaliate to get back at him. Split up, obviously the security and what have you did the job, which I'm glad really, because at that moment I had lost my head a little bit.
It could have got a bit ugly, couldn't it? Could have got ugly.
It could have ended up a disaster, to be quite honest. And then obviously when I calmed down, I also ran back round, which looking back, it were daft. But I were in the moment. I just made weight. For any man that makes weight for fights, that's just a weight, a weight off your shoulders just to make weight, and obviously the stress what comes into it of making weight, and then you get somebody that's a little idiot, you know what I mean, that then pushes you in the face sort of thing. So yeah, I lost my head a little bit. Maybe I went a little bit over the top, but I don't think I deserved a 5-month ban.
Yeah, you got banned for 5 months. I think Peter maybe got banned for 8 months, did he, after that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he got 8 months and I got 5 months.
Do you think, Shayne, given that the fact we've seen things like Amir Khan throwing water in Le Greco's face, we've seen Derek Chisora picking up a table and throwing it, do you think maybe the bans for you two guys were a little bit excessive?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Peter McDonough, all right, I think what people don't know about this, which the Boxing Board of Control told me, and I've never said out because I'm just, what it is, but Peter McDonough's mainly banned time was for drinking a bottle of beer after the weigh-in on the stage. Not just because of him pushing me. It was an embarrassment to British boxing, and that's what the Boxing Board of Control said to me. It was an embarrassment to British boxing that he got on the scales and weighed in, and then obviously did what he did with me and drunk a bottle of beer on the stage. But yeah, I do think me getting banned, I think it were crazy. A 5-month ban for me were very wrong, because I didn't even touch him. I didn't lay a finger on him, and it was same at the press conference. He was the one that rubbed his head on me. So for me, maybe, yeah, I think it were wrong. For Peter McDonough, 8 months is a bit excessive. Maybe just, maybe a couple of months ban, or maybe just a little fine or something like that. So yeah, the bans really shouldn't have been.
Yeah, just putting the Peter McDonough fight to bed, you lost by a couple of points. Obviously, you dispute that decision. After the fight, Peter came up to you to touch gloves. You basically told him to fuck off. I mean, have you spoken since? What happened,
He's just been given a little bit of stick on Twitter every now and again, but I don't put out back. I'm not one, I'm not one to be start mouthing over Twitter or anything like that. I let him get on with it. But people are saying I'm bad for the sport, or whatever they want to say. Some people on Twitter, but the fact is that the reason I didn't shake his hand, and I wouldn't have shook his hand if I'd have got the result, it had nothing to do with the result. The fact is, I will never, and I wouldn't respect that man because he laid his hands on me in a place where he shouldn't have done. If he wouldn't have done that at the weigh-in, it'd have been a different story. I'd have given him a cuddle. I'd have said, well done, fair enough, let's have a rematch. He was the one saying, let's have a rematch after the fight when the result was made, and I just wouldn't talk to him and have nothing to do with him. And that is the reason I wouldn't shake his hand, because he did something he shouldn't have done. Should have saved it until the ring. If it had knocked me out in the fight, and then I walked back up, I'd have shook his hand and said, fair enough. But he laid his hands on me at that weigh-in, which is wrong. So yeah, I have no respect for him as long as I live.
We've got Shayne Singleton on the line, everybody, former British welterweight title challenger. Let's talk about that fight, actually. That was before the McDonough fight. You went in with Bradley Skeet. Decent fighter, Skeet. Very good fighter. What does he do that's really effective in the ring that you weren't maybe expecting, Bradley?
Well, to be honest, it was the opposite way around for the first, 3 rounds. I watched it back, actually. I think it was not yesterday, the day before. It were on Box Nation. I've tuned into Box Nation and they were on. I watched it. And I'll just get rid of that. And I obviously watched it back, and I knew in the fight that them first 3 rounds, bar that last shot in the 3rd round, it were easy. Honestly, I went back to my corner after the 1st round and after the 2nd round, and I thought, blimey, this is so much easier than I thought. He couldn't hit me. I was catching him out the field. I was picking him with my jab, making him miss. But then I just went out into the third round and thought, yeah, let's up it a little bit. When really I shouldn't have done. I shouldn't have thought let's up it, because I was doing what needed to be done to win the rounds. And then because I've upped it, I've gained more confidence. And then obviously I walked on to one end at third round, and then it just changed. Then and he showed a bit of spite, because obviously it caught me, and it didn't really hurt me. It just caught me as I was throwing and made me touch down. But then when he did obviously put it on me, yeah, fair enough, fair play to him, you know. But that's another thing. I still don't think that fight should have been stopped then. I'm not saying that he wouldn't have stopped me, because I don't know. I can't say that. But at a moment in time when the fight did get stopped, I think it was the 5th round, I was, you know, I got stuck on the rope. I got my arm over the rope stuck. And when I got it back, I did come back with a left hook right hand, and they landed sweet, and then referee jumped in. But, you know, it is what it is. And for them first 3 rounds, while that last shot in third round, I thought I was watching it back, our levels above ski. But obviously then the fight turned, and that's where the best came out of ski. So fair play to him.
Shayne, in 2015, you went in with Sam Eggington. He's a fair old unit, Eggington. What was it like to fight him?
He is, yeah, he is. I underestimated Sam, to be honest with you. And obviously I was 20 and 0, so I had to underestimate him, because I was unbeaten in 20 fights, and obviously I was fully confident in myself. So I underestimated him a little bit because of his body size, and you know, his little arms and stuff like that, which were a massive mistake. I honestly thought that Sam Eggington couldn't hurt me. I've never ever been down in a fight. I've never been down in sparring. I've never been down at all in my amateur career up until meeting from Eggington. So that's why I was going in there, not thinking I was invincible, but thinking I was on for beating him. And same with Eggington. I think I took the first round, and then gained too much confidence from it then, and obviously walked into his sort of game, and he stood there and tried to compete with him, because I didn't think I could be hurt. And then obviously it showed from then on. Obviously we're catching some good shots, which were dropping me, not dazing me, not knocking me out, anything like that, but they were just big thuds, and you know, I didn't see the punches coming in, and just felt myself on the floor a few times. So he's a fair play to Eggington. I like him, and I've got respect for Eggington, because he had respect for me before and after the fight. You know, I told him I was going to come and fight, and I did go and fight. And he said after in his interview, he said fair play to Shayne. He said he was coming to fight, and he came to fight. That's all I was getting was that I was going to run. I was going to run round the ring from him like I did when I fought Curtis Woodhouse. So we were just going off that performance, which was like 3-4 years previous to me fighting Eggington.
Yeah, that was going to be my final question, actually. You fought Curtis Woodhouse in 2013. You also beat Steve Jevons, who was undefeated at the time, and you had a good win over Adil Anwar. What was the most satisfying win of your career overall?
Satisfying win was definitely Woodhouse. Definitely that. I know that were a close fight, and obviously he prayed on that he thought he'd won it. I judged that fight myself after I watched it back, and I couldn't have been any fairer than to say, going into that 12th round, I needed a knockdown to win, or obviously a knockout to win, or it was going to be a draw. That's what I had it. I had it pretty even, and he got a point took off in the 10th round as well. Therefore, I knew then I'd won the fight, because I just needed that 10th round to win, and I won the 10th round, and he got a point took off as well. So I was happy with that. That's definitely my proudest moment today. Or maybe knocking Adil Anwar out live on Sky Sports. But my proudest moment today was beating Woodhouse, because nobody gave me a chance apart from myself.
Shayne, that's been brilliant. Thank you for talking to us and being so candid as well this evening. What about social media? Where can the listeners get in touch with you?
Say that again, sorry.
Where can the listeners get in touch with you over on social media?
Social media, on my Twitter, on my Facebook. I've I've got Instagram now. To be honest, I'm not really a big Twitter fan. I don't mind it, but there's just a lot of keyboard warriors, I call them, that sat behind the computers or iPads or whatever they're on the phones, giving it big licks on that Twitter, and so I don't really like it for that side. If somebody wants to message me on there with grief, they'll just get ignored. And if somebody wants to message me on there with support of any sort, then I'll definitely speak back to them and talk and do what I have to do. But anybody wants to give me any grief on there, you're wasting your time because you're not going to get anything back.
Well said, Shayne. Thanks for joining us this evening.
No problem at all. Thanks for the call.
All the best. Cheers.